If you're a neurodivergent believer who struggles with patience, then this video is for you. First things first, don't mind my bonnet. It's Saturday, so y'all know I'm having reflections. Number two, also mind y'all business. My eyes are really bad with allergies, so that's why it looks like I'm crying, because I'm not. Anyway, so let's jump into this. In May of last year, one of the things I went to my therapist about, and I said, I want to be more patient. I want to really learn how to grow and be patient because my family tell me I'm not as patient. I've been in relationships where they told me I'm not as patient. And I started to believe that maybe just patience wasn't for me. So, of course, I tell my therapist, well, he asked me, what have you done to work on your patience? So, of course, I tell him, like, hey, I have this patience journal. I'm reading scripture. I'm trying to understand, like, why patience is so important. Like, what does the Bible say about patience? Why God values patience, right? Because it is one of the fruits of the Spirit if you read in Galatians, right? Also, what patience looks like in practice. I'm telling him how Jesus modeled patience. I gave this man a full breakdown and a scripture exegesis on how Jesus modeled patience. And then he asked me, he was like, so, according to the Bible, how do you operate with patience? So I gave him these 5 things. I'm like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. If you go to Lamentations 3:31 and 33, if you go to Galatians 1 and 11, if you go to Psalms 40 and 1, Hebrews 6 and 12, Galatians, you got Ephesians, you got all these scriptures, right? And I'm just running it all down to him. And then he tells me, he's like, why don't you afford yourself the same grace that you give others? And I said, what are you talking about? Because I do. He's like, no. He was like, you do understand your body is not set up the same. You're neurologically not set up the same for patients the way neurotypical people are. So let me take a little sidebar here. If you're just now following me and you don't know this, I am neurodivergent in multiple ways. And so as we're talking, I said, well, you need to explain this to me. He tells me, he's like, look, with your brain, you're literally like your dopamine baseline, like you have a lower baseline for dopamine, which means waiting physically makes you uncomfortable. And oftentimes, when you are neurodivergent, it comes with pattern recognition, it comes with heightened awareness, a need for predictability, right? And so patience requires delayed gratification. And I'm listen, I got some notes because y'all know who I am. Delayed gratification, emotional regulation during uncertainty, tolerance of incomplete information. Holy crap. He said, do you know those are neurologically expensive tasks? Blew my mind. Something I'm like, well, everyone tells me I need to be more patient. I need to read scripture. I need to know better. Knowing better doesn't make it easy, like doesn't make it automatically easier. Like knowing better doesn't bypass sensory overload. It doesn't bypass the fact that you still have a neurological defect that hinders you from operating with neurotypical patients. I think in that moment, I really just had to, I think I just cried. I really just cried because in the first sense of it, I felt seen, I felt heard. I also felt vindicated in a sense because I really sat up here and was like, I want to be more patient. I bought books, I bought Bible devotionals on how to be more patient. And what my therapist explained to me is that it's not that I'm morally corrupt because I don't have patience. I really just have a regulation issue. It's like you have a regulation issue. And that's what you need to focus on. And so patience is always going to feel harder for you because for neurodivergent people, we often feel everything at 1,000%. So connection, anticipation, disappointment, hope, injustice. So waiting is emotionally loud for us. So with that being said, do not discourage yourself spiritually, emotionally, mentally because you're frustrated with trying to have more patience when neurologically you're not even set up the proper way to have neurotypical patience. What you do need to have is, you can't, first off, you cannot outpray dysregulation. So you need to be regulated. You need to understand what it takes. How do you regulate when it's hard for you to be patient? Like, one of the things that I've started to do with some of my friends is, like, if they tell me, hey, I'm going to do something, I say, okay, what's the timeline? How soon are you gonna do it? And not in a way of being like, an like an a-hole, but more so in a way of like, hey, I want to know where we're at so that way I can regulate myself. And I've learned that anyone who cannot understand my regulation techniques, it just doesn't work for me. And so I will remove those people, because me asking questions about, okay, how long is this going to take? What support do you need or I need? Me asking those questions, if that makes you feel uncomfortable, you're probably not the right person for me. So I just want to tell you that I see you. If you are neurodivergent and you know you struggle with patience, I just want you to know I see you. I want you to know that you are loved, you are valued. But you got to go out there and figure out how to regulate yourself. And once I figured out how to regulate myself, I was able to really show up better for myself and show up for those around me. And that patience journal that I bought in 2023, because that ex that I was dating said that I wasn't patient, I actually threw that patience journal out because I'm not patient. I just need to figure out what regulates me. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Bye.